From tuition to rent, here's the real cost of studying in Singapore. Singapore can be a popular study destination, but it can be expensive. If you look at the QS World Rankings, you'll find that NUS and NQ are ranked among the top 15 universities worldwide. But if you take a look at this Economic Times article, you'll see that Singapore is the most expensive city as of 2024. You don't need to worry. In this video, I'm going to show you the actual cost which you might incur while studying here at NUS. First up is the tuition fee. So if you go to the NUS website, you'll find that the tuition fee differs as per your major or faculty. Since I'm in computing, this is the tuition fees which I'm paying right now. But I'm also on the S&T scholarship, so currently I don't need to pay the tuition fees. It's already paid for. Next up is the accommodation cost. So basically you have two different options. One is to stay on campus, which is recommended, and the other is the off campus. So for off campus, it might cost around 1,000, that would be the minimum, and it can go up to 1,500 or maybe 2,000 depending on the apartment style and on the location. While the on-campus accommodation, you have 4 different options. In reality, you have 5, but on the website, they have only mentioned 4, and I'm going to tell you the 5th one as well. So some of them come with the meal plan, while some of the options come without. So the ones with the meal plan, they cost around $1,200 to $1,300 per month. Mind you that the meal plan is included. And the ones which don't, they cost you around $750 per month. And the 5th option which I was telling you about was the NUSC college. This is where I'm studying right now. And for me, my monthly cost is about $1,300 per month. And again, since I'm on the S&T scholarship, this amount is already paid for. If you're wondering that you need to pay anything extra on top of the accommodation charges, then the answer would be yes, only if you have an aircon room. You need to top up your aircon account. Other than that, for all the common amenities, the toiletries, everything is paid for. If you need another video explaining the different accommodation options we have here at NUS, please drop down the comments below and I'll make another video on that. Next up is the living expense, which a lot of you have asked me in the past. So I'll be categorizing it into 3 different subparts: food, utility, and transport. For food, there's a lot of different options on campus. There's Techno Edge, The Deck, Frontier, U-Town, and a lot more. And if you ask me, $3 is the minimum cost of the food I could find. And it can go up to $15 to $20. And yes, you're not gonna like the $3 food every single day. So if you have a meal plan, then you'll only have to pay for lunch. However, if you're getting accommodation without the meal plan, you'll have to pay for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So for me, since I have the meal plan, I only pay for the lunch. And if you average it out, it costs me around $5.5 per meal. So if you sum it up, it's going to cost you around $15 to $20 per day if you don't have a meal plan. If you're eating outside of campus, you broadly have 2 different options. One is the hawker center, which is usually pocket-friendly meals, again about the same, about $3 to maybe up to $6 or $10. And one is to go out and go to a restaurant or a bar, which can cost you a minimum of about $8, and the maximum can go up to $20, $40, $50, or even $100. For me, since I go out every Saturdays, I spend about $15 each Saturday, so my monthly cost comes up to $60 for outdoor meals. For utility bills, I just have my phone bill, which is a prepaid SIM card, and it costs me about $10 every single month. For transport, you have 2 options. One is cab, and the other is public transport. So for cabs, the prices are usually insanely expensive. It can cost up to $10 to maybe up to $40 depending on the price surge per trip. While for the public transport, it can cost you a minimum of $2 to up to $5 per round trip. Depending on the number of trips you make in a month, the price is going to vary. And for me, since I go out every Saturday, it costs me about $20 to $20 per month. Next up is the cost of study material. If you ask me, in the past 3 years, I have never required a book to study. because all the study materials are provided to you online. However, just for my two courses which I took, one was NGN, one was Spanish module. So for them, I needed a physical copy of the book. And for one of the module, I asked my senior to pass me down. And for the other module, I just downloaded an online version of the book. But if you're looking for the actual cost, then I would estimate about $100 to maybe about $200, depending on your major. This is something which a lot of people forget to mention. If you're particularly looking for a certain CCA or an extracurricular activity which you want to do apart from your studies, some of them require a joining fee or others require fees to buy equipment. So depending on the community or club you join, you have to pay accordingly. And I would estimate about $50. Do note that it is not a compulsory fee. It is only applicable to you if you join those certain extracurricular activities. Next up is unexpected charges. And usually these are your medical bills because you never know what's going to happen. So I would suggest you to have about $500 to $1,000 at all times in your bank accounts just for these emergencies. If you ask me, I fell sick within 1 month of coming to Singapore and I had to visit the doctor and buy the medicine. So the medicine just costed me about $20, and usually that's the normal range of medicine cost. However, in case of an emergency, once my friend had to go to the hospital and it costed him about $200. Later on, it was refunded back to him because of the insurance, but still, it's necessary to have some funds in your accounts. If you found the video helpful, please do give me a like and share it with your friends so that they can also know about the finances in Singapore. Trust me, you can stay within your budget if you keep a lookout for your expenses. I have done it, I still do it, and I believe you can also do the same. If you want to know more about the part-time jobs and the loan options for Singapore, let me know in the comment section below and I'll make another video on that. Meanwhile, if you're interested in the scholarship options, you can check out this video here. Till then, take care and see you in the next video.